It is Thanksgiving in the United States, and like clockwork, I know there will be people watching this saying, Thanksgiving is a Protestant holiday. We should not observe it as Catholics. And I guarantee you, any American saying that is saying that knowing full well they're going to be enjoying a nice turkey dinner with family later that day as they themselves celebrate Thanksgiving. There's nothing wrong with the Thanksgiving holiday. You don't have to be a Puritan to celebrate Thanksgiving. Most Americans celebrating it are not celebrating the Puritan essence of it. It's perfectly fine to celebrate it, to show gratitude to God for that which He has given us in a material sense in this year, while, of course, remaining our focus on the most important aspect of things, the spiritual side of things, not letting the material get in the way of our relationship with God and our pursuit of sanctity and all the rest of it. And to that end, I am bringing you today an essay from Fulton Sheen on gratitude, or rather, it's Fulton Sheen on ingratitude, something we don't speak about often enough. How much of our own behavior can be understood as us being not sufficiently grateful for what it is we have received. Let's think about that today, and think about this in the context of the holiday, the secular holiday in the United States, Thanksgiving. Ingratitude by Fulton Sheen, an excerpt from his work on being human. When our divine Savior cured the 10 lepers, only one returned to thank Him, and that one belonged to a despised race, the Samaritans. Aptly, the miracle worker asked, "Where are the other 9?" The gospel story is repeated in all centuries and circumstances. Thankfulness is rare, ingratitude is common. It is likely that the 9 did not return to express gratitude for the same reason, preoccupation with some selfish interest that outweighed the claims of gratitude. But this single excuse can be broken down into 9 probable reasons for staying away. 1. Hardness. One man may have thought, I would have become wealthy anyway, so why thank God for what was mine by rights? 2. Thoughtlessness. Many people lack the habit of ever turning back. In reflection on their own lacks, they are therefore unconscious of the benefits they have received, taking them for granted and acting like the kind of husband who never thanks his wife for the happiness that she has given him. 3. Envy. There is the person who cannot enjoy the favors he receives as much as others do if they are younger or wealthier or in other ways outstrip him. Such persons, on receiving any favor, immediately advert to what a neighbor has received and make themselves unhappy because the gift they won was not unique. Envy always turns the sour milk of human kindness. 4. Cowardice. There are some who refrain from gratitude because the one who gave to them is not popular with the mob. They avoid showing that they are beholden to him for fear of being associated with him in the public mind. 5. Fear. Some refuse to be grateful because the favor granted has strings attached to it, the obligation of discipleship perhaps, or of moral betterment. To avoid these commitments, they refuse to offer thanks. 6. Worldliness. Excessive devotion to business makes some souls so insensitive that they cannot take time out to notice the favors they have received. 7. Pride. To acknowledge that one has been helped is, to some souls, to admit inferiority. Their pride makes them prefer to withhold thanks, rather than belittle themselves. 8. Gregariousness. Some people are incapable of doing anything alone. Unless they have the mob supporting them when they act, they refuse to act at all. If the majority of the others had given thanks, then so would the man of the gregarious temperament. But if the others remain silent, so will he. And of course, procrastination. Number 9. Some people fail to fulfill their human obligations by putting every gracious gesture off until tomorrow, when tomorrow never comes. The road to hell is paved with the stones of postponed resolutions. Underlying all these varied and distinctive reasons for ungratefulness is for forgetfulness of the benefactor and of what he wants. Such an attitude in human affairs is extremely common among children. They do not ordinarily give thanks for the blessings of life and care to their parents until they have children of their own and learn how much their own families have had to endure for them. Even then, many adults refuse to admit that they, as children, could have been as troublesome as they actually were. Ingratitude to God is even commoner than ingratitude to the men who have deserved our thanks. A legend says that one morning his angels set out with 10,000 baskets of food for his children, but that at evening a single basket was enough to carry back to heaven the thanks that he received. Some may ask, why should we thank God? Yet surely it is clear that the merest justice requires our gratitude to him. God does not need our thanks, but we need to perform the act of thanksgiving in order to acknowledge of ourselves that under the law of truth we have been blessed beyond all our deserts. In thanking God, we are a little like the child who brings a gift of dandelions to his mother. The mother who does not need the dandelions, but she is happy to receive them because the child needs the experience of love, honor, obedience, and gratitude that are involved in making such a gift. We, too, when we give thanks to God, become better merely by recognizing that all good things come from him and are the tokens of his love. To blink at this fact would be to forfeit the strength which comes to us from an admission of the truth. Character is tested when we receive a gift, when we get the thing we want. As soon as this has happened, the benefactor ceases to be necessary to us in our ambitions. Still, we forget him, as we forget the dentist when the aching tooth is cured. After we receive the gift we craved, we can see the benefactor in a quite different light than we did formerly. The delivery from our need of his assistance is also the delivery from the bias in his favor which our selfish aims dictated. The benefactor, who was once a necessity or a convenience, is no longer needed, and the very same self-sufficiency often intrudes into man's attitude toward God. Beneath the seeming reverence for the divine benefactor, there may have lurked a querulous temper, which chafed at the calamities of life, as if living under an unpleasant dispensation of divine providence. When God has granted such a disposition, what it craved, then that temper rises to the surface, and ingratitude results. Gratitude is a characteristic only of the humble. The egotistic are so impressed by their importance that they take whatever given them as if it were their due. They have no room in their hearts for recollection of the undeserved favors they received. Gratitude is not only an obligation, however, it is also a means of curing the sick of soul. Those who suffer from despair would do well to sit down and count their blessings. They would then see that even some of the misfortunes of their lives have turned out, under God's merciful and guiding hand, to be blessings. Either they disciplined character in a needed way, or they acted as a preparation for greater favors still to come. Thanksgiving redeems wealth by ridding it of that terrible complacency which chokes the spirit. It redeems work by purging from it pride and selfishness. Thanksgiving is the one act by which a man may become free. An atheist who believes that everything is predetermined and that nothing is a free gift from the love divine cannot honestly give thanks to anything from anything. If he is logical in carrying out his barren, sad philosophy, he cannot even thank his neighbor for lending him a cigarette. And that is Fulton's Sheen, reminding you that ingratitude and a desire to not give thanks is a result of pride, of our being too good to do things. It is pride that has us thanking God off till a better, more opportune time. Don't be prideful. Remember on this Thanksgiving Day, whether you have to endure the slings of arrows of relatives who don't share your theological or political views, or maybe today you're going to do something truly good with your time. You're going to actually go do works of charity. Seems to be a practice that not many do anymore on Thanksgiving. Whatever it is you're going to do, just remember what Fulton Sheen had to say here today. And may his advice make your Thanksgiving a more thankful day indeed. Let me know what you think of this in the comments. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help. Sharing this on social media helps too. And as always, pray for the church. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.